So recently I was wondering about a very specific question in C programming. If you ever wrote a C program, you will be familiar with what I just wrote. It's a simple hello world program. Okay, so I want to run this program. So I'm going to invoke my favorite compiler, GCC. Running another command, echoing status, gives us more info than GCC actually provides. So we can see that the command ran successfully, because apparently GCC cannot even tell us that. Let's run main and we get hello world. So you might ask, yeah, this is like obvious, am I right? So what is your specific question about this? To show you what I'm after, let's look at this program from the perspective of someone who never programmed in C. So this someone might ask, so this function is called main because it's the main function of the program, am I right? But being the good programmer I am, I want to refactor this. So let's give it actually a more descriptive name. Let's call this function exec program. All right, so let's just recompile and we will get this abomination. And this abomination is where our journey begins. Okay, I formatted this in a way that we can actually see what is going on. So apparently LD is giving us this error. It's not even GCC. So this error happens in the linking step. This is something I would assume, right? But now we get this. So this file in here seems to be somehow tied to the compilation or linking of our main.c program here. Okay, let's actually check out the file. Maybe we can learn something more. Right, it's a binary file. Doing a little bit of research onto object files, I stumbled upon nm, which seems to be a simple command to dump the symbol table and their attributes from a binary executable file, including object modules. So let's give this file to that program and basically inspect what the file actually holds. Okay, and we can see one very specific thing. This holds a function called start. And it does not only do that, it also has something like libc start main. Okay, so libc needs a specific function to start. So we get a bunch of different characters in here, and the only t that I can find is in here. And looking up the t in the table tells us that t means this is a global text symbol, which means that the function almost certainly contains executable code because this section is intended to be for executable code. Okay, before we go any further, let's actually try to simplify this path because it's very long and I refuse to work with this long path. So let's see, we have a lot of dot slash, but after we actually go into a directory. So we go into this directory, but we dot slash, so we're in here, then we do it again, so we're in here, then we do it again, so in here, and we do it again, so in here, and then we go to here and to here. So we should be able to see the same file at user lib64 scrt1.o. And it seems to be the same file. Okay, but we want to actually kind of figure out what is going on inside of that obj file. So let's try and use the obj dump command with a very specific command line flags. Those being the -d flag and also the -r flag, whereby the -d flag tells obj dump to disassemble executable sections inside of the obj file. And the r flag tells obj dump to emit relocation records, which we will need because our obj file is not linked yet. Alright, so let's use mintel to have Intel assembly, and then let's just provide our file. Okay, so what we can see is that there is a call, but there is only one call, and the call seems to be to something that isn't yet filled in because we haven't linked the file. But this something is actually specified because we have printed the relocation records. This is just a relocation record, and it's relocating to a symbol called libc start main. Okay, so we know that at the end of all this, what happens is that libc start main gets called. But what about this main? Okay, it seems like here we also have this placeholder, which is then relocated by this relocation entry to main. But this is not called because then we would see another call. This is actually moved into RDI. Just by looking at this, we can see that we are basically using main as a pointer, as a function pointer, and not as a thing we want to call. We will only call this function eventually. So this combined with things like popping and putting it into RSI, where pop just takes the first value on the stack, and the first value on the stack on x86-64 is argc, and after argc, argv is actually located. So we move into the next argument, what is under the current stack pointer, which is argv. So what we kind of do is moving argc, argv, and our function pointer to main, and using those arguments to call libc start main. All this implies that there is not only the underscore start thing that happens before our actual main, there is also libc start main, which calls main. And all that kind of gets secretly injected into every single executable file that you will ever build. So doing more research on this, I actually stumbled upon libc start main.c, and we're going to pretend that our program uses Musel because Musel is way better than GCC at actual readability. So let's look at that file. Let's use vim because nvim doesn't want to read that file, and let's see. And we can actually see, this is like a revolution. I can actually see where my C program starts. So you might think, yeah, I use C, I'm very independent and I control everything, like each line of code is controlled by me. No, it's actually not. As you can see, they can run arbitrary code before your code because it's literally the function call that's generated by the compiler. And as you can see, they have the argc, argv argument, and they have the function pointer to main. Okay, so by looking at this, we can see that there are actually multiple stages. They are initializing their own library, so they are initializing libc, and then they make a call to stage 2 with the arguments. So let's actually go into init libc. Okay, so it's doing a bunch of things and it's calling multiple other functions, but as I can see, it does not call main. So let's actually search for main. Okay, and we get brought here, pass control to the application. So what is this doing? It's calling exit, but not with any kind of exit code, with the exit code that is gotten by running main. So this is the point where our main function is actually being ran. Okay, but stage 2, so let's see where stage 2 is. Okay, so stage 2 is getting called after init. So basically this is already another stage, but inside of stage 2, there's another function that's getting called. And this function does a bunch of different things and also calling another init function. So is this init function defined inside of this file? It's not. So I actually found this article, The Mystery of Init, and it's basically talking about that this init function is essentially a legacy way of specifying code that should run before main. But the actual way that this is now done apparently is by calling functions in an init array. And this part in here is doing exactly that. It's invoking functions that are inside of this init array. This function seems to be extern, and I don't want to really get into where this is, but the point that I'm trying to make here is that libc is basically injecting your program with a bunch of slop and then running that slop instead of your actual entry point. And your actual entry point is not your actual entry point. Your actual entry point is just a simple function that's getting passed around and eventually after many steps just getting called like any other C function you might ever call. Okay, but let's quickly tie this back to our file from earlier. And we have learned that we can kind of not call this function exec program because there will be weird errors. So let's call it main, right? But from our knowledge, we have kind of learned, okay, LD is getting executed and it's running with .o files. So there must be a way to just convert our C file into a .o file. Okay, so many of you will know that there is a -c flag in GCC to actually compile the program, but do nothing. So no linking and no other steps. So let's use this, but let's also do -f no built-in and -o0. So that we don't get any weirdness because GCC is optimizing things. Right, so we should have a generated O file, and we do. So then we should be able to just say ld main.o. Okay, we get an undefined reference to printf. This makes sense. We should link the C library, am I right? Okay, we still get a weird warning. Cannot find entry symbol start. Okay, let's try and execute our binary. Okay, and we can see exec actually failed. So our shell failed to execute the program. process. Okay, so this is interesting, but also kind of expected, because we kind of saw that there is an entire machinery that is needed to actually run our program. Main is not something that will run your program. You are not even able to run any program that only has main defined. So even your shell will error with an exec error because start is not defined. Okay, then I mean, can't we resolve this issue by literally just using the file that we found, which was this file? So let's just link them together. Let's use both of them and let's see what happens. Okay, the error is going away. This is a good thing. Okay, let's try. It's still giving us the same errors. So what is that about? Okay, I mean, we can try to use an M again to see if we actually have our start symbol in A.out. Okay, start seems to be there. It's in the text section. Main is also in the text section, but you have to use, and this is the printf, and also libc start main is U, meaning undefined or not yet resolved. Further up, we can also see that this file is in fact dynamically linked. Okay, but I mean, this should work. I mean, it should resolve libc. Even though it's dynamically linked, I have libc, this should normally work. So I went further and I inspected the elf. So read elf -l A.out. And this will basically give us the elf headers. And in here, we can see something very specific. So you can see this. This immediately stands out. It's even giving us a string requesting program interpreter libld64.so.1. So what is a program interpreter? This is essentially another different file, or even like program, you might say, that resolves all of the relocations and all of the unresolved symbols that need to be dynamically interpreted and loaded. So on Linux, what actually happens when you exec your program, basically what exec is doing is it's loading your program and this program interpreter program into the same process, and then eventually, after all of this machinery happens, the kernel transfers control back to our program, which then executes all of the machinery we have uncovered, and then eventually main runs. Okay, so what is the problem? We are requesting this interpreter. So I also thought, like, what is the problem with that? This seems like an interpreter. So let's actually do cat this. No such file or directory. So this interpreter doesn't even exist. Okay, so we kind of get to the root of the issue, right? So we need LD to somehow not use this interpreter. So let's just do something like LD help, and then let's just grab interpreter. Okay, I wrote it wrong. So let's say interpreter. Okay, we get something like no dynamic linker, produce an executable with no program interpreter header. Okay, this is kind of not what we want, right? So, okay, let's actually search for dynamic linker. If there's a no dynamic linker flag, this would make sense. And as you can see, there is a dynamic linker flag that allows us to specify any program to resolve dynamic linking. So now that we know that, the question kind of becomes, what program should we specify? I actually found this out by tracing GCC's linking process. So let's actually trace that. There is a thing in GCC. Let me show you. You can do main.o and then you can do just main-o main. And this effectively makes GCC be a linker. So you can do this and main just runs because GCC is doing all of this shady business. But what shady business is it actually doing, you might ask? So there is a kind of super secret thing in GCC. It's not really super secret, but you can do ### with a dash and look what happens. You actually get all of this dump in here. So you get what GCC is actually doing in the background. So let's actually put this into our temp file and see what they give LD in the dynamic linker flag. So let's see, dynamic link. And it's already here. So let's see. Dynamic linker. Okay, so they seem to give another SO. This is perfect. So let's just copy it. And now let's use all of our combined knowledge and use LD again. Let's provide main.o. Let's provide user lib64/ctr1.o, right? So this one. And then let's just do dash dynamic linker and literally copy that. Okay, we get an undefined reference to printf. So we need to link with libc, right? Ran successfully. We get no warning. Okay. Let's try and execute main. Okay, so we fucking did it. And this was just the tip of the iceberg of everything that happens before your program runs.